Zenny62 Media, and uh, ready with my last few entries in my watch list for this upcoming season for my top, all underappreciated team. And there are a lot of things that go into a player being on this list, and of course, obviously, smaller school players are more highly represented because they're more likely to be underrated. But there are some players who are at schools that are very well known. Now, one of these schools is very well known for academics. The other one's more well known for putting some of the most important people in Black history into their adult lives. So I'm going to start with Abu Kamara. Now, Abu Kamara looks the part. If he was playing at USC, if he was playing at Auburn, if he was playing at Boston College, if he was playing at Florida State, he would not look out of place. He is one of those players that when you see him on tape and you see him live, you think, wow. I mean, obviously he cares about academics because he looks like a guy who certainly does not have to play football at Yale, right? He doesn't have to. He's there because he wants to be there. He is over 6 feet tall. He's probably in the low 190s. But things that you notice when you watch him: leadership and intelligence. I mean, Yale, obviously, but made the stats perform FCS preseason All-American. He was first or second team All-American on a bunch of different lists last year. Was in 12 games last year, had 76 total tackles, including 6.5 tackles for loss, which is a rare number for someone who, is a true corner. Now, there are some who may project him to another position. We'll get into that later. But he forced 3 fumbles, right? 2 of them were against Montana State, obviously one of the best teams that they're going to face. He recovered 4 fumbles, which is an astonishing number. He intercepted 2 passes against Cornell, one of which he took all the way back to the house. He had 12 total tackles against Dartmouth. He broke up 13 passes on the season. 5 of them were against or during Yale's FCS playoff run. First ever. Now, as many of you know, for many years, they just politely declined Ivy League schools to participate in FCS playoffs. I'm so glad that that's changed. But he played against Youngstown State and Montana State. I'll be honest, that's up. They're playing up in competition. Those are 2 schools that are amongst the best in the FCS and could definitely beat some FBS teams. He blocked a field goal versus Cornell. He was Player of the Week at least once. He was the Defensive Player of the Year for the Ivy League. Obviously, first team All-Ivy, was a Buchanan Award finalist. Last year, he was an FCS Central. Shout out to my friend and friend of the show, as we say. This was Zach McKinnell. First team All-American for them. Second team All-American for the Associated Press. Made the All-ECAC team. Was a FCS All-American team for the AFCA as well. New England Football Writers new All-New England team just from this year. And he was pretty good the year before that. 84 total tackles as a junior. 2 tackles for loss and a sack as a junior. Even as a first year, he showed up and played. He had 20 tackles, not even as a starter. 14 of them solo, 6 assisted, and 2 pass breakups as a part-time player. Had a career interception, first one against Brown, and had 5 tackles. So even as a guy who wasn't even a starter, he was already making an impact. And then his last few years as a starter, has been terrific. And I'm hoping he ends up at the Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl at the least, but I'd love to see him at the Senior Bowl. Now, there's 3 phases to the game. The next player I'm going to talk about makes most of his impact on special teams. His name's Elijah Kennedy. He is a wide receiver by position, but his chance to play in the NFL is based around his impact as a return specialist. Missed all of 2024 due to injury. In 2022, he had 4 games, didn't start, but did have 3 punt returns for 34 yards. Also had one of those being a 22-yarder. Also had a punt return against Charleston State. Then last year, 8 games, 2 starts, 5 punt returns, 48 yards, 3 catches for 17 yards. Still not much of an impact. It is last year where he goes from being a player that, frankly, I'll be honest, when I watched tape, didn't even really notice, to a player that I legitimately think has a chance to play in the NFL. Last year, in 12 games, he had 36 kickoff returns for 705 yards, 17 punt returns for 274 yards. Total That's 979 return yards, which led the FCS. Narrowly edging out Kylan Wilson, of course, who's a better all-around player than he is, but not a better return specialist. He is one of the best return specialists in college football, period. New sentence. So he has a legitimate chance to make an NFL roster just based off the fact that he is that level of return player. He gives you the ability both in punt and kickoff return to get a big play anytime he gets one or two blocks or makes somebody miss. So those are two players I truly believe in. Once again, this is Bill Carroll for Zenny62 Media. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll have the last couple for you, tomorrow and the day after. And I'll talk to you later.